Welcome back. Today we're covering probably one of the most in-depth and insane ARGs I've covered on the channel. We're talking Petscop levels here. Catastrophe Crow, or Crow 64. Before we get started, just a reminder to please subscribe, it legitimately does help the channel. Alright, let's start with some background information. On October 14th of this year, a YouTuber by the name of Adam Butcher uploaded a video. It appeared at first to be just a normal Boots-esque, internet video game history video about a relatively unknown N64 game, Catastrophe Crow. It seems believably real until he puts the development cartridge in and it goes completely spooky ARG creepypasta territory. This would lead viewers down a rabbit hole that is so big and detailed and insane that there's no way I'm going to be able to cover everything in this video. If you want more detailed research about this topic, you can join the subreddit or the Discord or this insanely detailed Google Doc. If you want any idea of how big this is, the Google Doc as of recording this is 74 pages. Now, as people began to look deeper into Catastrophe Crow, they started finding gameplay videos uploaded by strange, N64 nostalgia channels. All of these channels were set up by the creators of this ARG, sometimes months in advance. The dedication is insane. They would be uploading N64 videos to no one waiting for the right time. Now, here's the thing. In a video like this, normally I would go over what happens in each video in the series, and then I'd talk about what I think the story is. But this is so detailed and there's so many different aspects to it, I think I'll start with what I think the story is, and then go through some ways that we've obtained the information. Again, I won't be able to cover everything, but I want to give you a good idea of this. And Crow 64 is a masterclass in creating codes in crazy ways, so I definitely suggest sticking around. Alright, so from this first video, What Happened to Crow 64, we learn this. German game designer Manfred Lorenz started developing Catastrophe Crow in the late 90s, based off drawings his daughter made. It was supposed to be a groundbreaking N64 title, promised to be more than just a game and featuring an eternal revival system. Real E3 hours. But the game got stuck in development hell, and the game's release was pushed back. Employees at Opus Interactive, Manfred's game company, began questioning the now strange assets that Manfred was having them make, and in the end, Manfred sat alone in the office working non-stop on the game by himself. The game was pushed back so long and so much money was invested that when the N64 era ended, the debt collectors came to reclaim Opus Interactive's equipment. But when they arrived, everything, including Manfred and the computers, was missing. Manfred's wife had apparently left the country, his household was empty, and the only thing they could find was Manfred's boat sitting empty in the water somewhere. Manfred and the game was presumed dead. But Adam Butcher, the creator of the video, was able to score a development copy on eBay. But here's where we get to the convoluted side. The gameplay videos showcase so much information, from a crow character jumping off a boat, holding a computer in hand, to the weird monsters coming out of mirrors, to the phone ringing and 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 ringing. Again, I'll get into the codes in a minute, but first I want to say what I think the story that's being told here really is. I'm nowhere near the most educated person about this subject though, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Manfred created Catastrophe Crow as a gift for his daughter, inspired directly from her drawings. It started out pretty well, but then his daughter fell ill and eventually passed away. With his daughter gone and the project he'd spent so much time working on seeming in vain, he couldn't handle it. He cut out his other family and started doing something else with the game. These strange assets were for something different. It started as just using the game as a coping mechanism, and then it was about keeping his daughter's memory alive. Whether that's literal or figurative at this point, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, the game took a form of its own. Not even he knew what he had created. Eventually, out of control and filled with sadness, he took his boat out to the ocean and jumped in along with the equipment that created the game, hoping to destroy it. However, that wasn't the end for him. Remember this eternal revival system? While not much information is given about that aspect specifically, it seems too specific and ominous to just be some passing line. I think the game is keeping him alive. Now, that sounds absurd, and maybe it is, but think about it. He disappears and is presumed dead, and then the game he worked on that mysteriously disappeared with him shows up, and now he's answering emails? To me, storyline-wise, at this point, it makes the most sense. Now, he's trying to get back in touch with his son, Nils, to tell him something. Maybe to try and set him free, maybe to destroy whatever he put into the game that got out of control. I don't know. Okay, so that's my working theory. If you want a more detailed description of, all the information that we have, go look at that document I mentioned earlier. Now, I want to talk about how we came across all this information. Like I said, Crow64 is a masterclass in code. There's some pretty self-explanatory ones, Base64, Morse code. They're fun, but not necessarily insane to try and figure out. So what about the really creative ones? Throughout the series, there are these garbled messages and dialogue with seemingly random just letters that mean nothing, but it's all coded. You just need to find the key. And we find the key in a seemingly normal gameplay video. At the beginning, the player opens up the menu and it seems normal. However, as the video goes on and things get a little more creepy, he opens up the menu and it's a garbled mess. By matching the two menus, we now know what each letter correlates to. So the menu was the key. This has been dubbed Crow language by Crow64 investigators. It's allowed us to decode certain messages like "I am in hell" and "Please forgive me, both of you." Another one of my favorites is the keyboard sound cipher. There's a video where the character just sort of wanders around and picks up these collectibles that seem to make random sounds, but they're anything but random. In a different video, there's a large computer where the keys are mapped to these same sounds. The player sort of wanders around aimlessly on the keys, but if you take the sound that each key makes and map it in the order you pick up the collectibles, then you get a code. It spells out, "This is only for your little brother now." But now I want to talk about my absolute favorite code from the whole series. There's a video called End Credit Soundtrack 1995. It's an apparent end credit soundtrack for a different Opus interactive game, Ocean Quest. First of all, Ocean Quest? Okay. It seems like a pretty normal song except for these, again, seemingly random notes that play throughout. Just different tones that play sort of off-key from what the rest of the song is. It's not even clear that it's a code at first, but it is. And thanks to Jonathan Rose Lyon on YouTube, we know what it says. If you align each note from lowest to highest and sync that up with the alphabet, then you rearrange it into the order that the random notes are played in the video, it spells something out. This seemingly random pattern of notes actually spells Thea, Nils, Marta, Manfred. Thanks for playing. These are insane. Oh my god, that is a lot, but it's not just a web series with codes. It is an ARG. Remember how I said Manfred answers emails? It's true. Most emails linked to these gameplay channels don't work, but one does, and answering it is someone who signs their emails ML, as in Manfred Lorenz. It appears from the emails sent back and forth of the investigators that Manfred is trying to meet with Nils, who I believe is Manfred's son, his surviving child. He's keen to make sure Nils is not an imposter though, so trying to get information out of him is difficult. I tried asking questions and I'm still waiting on a response, so I'll update you if I get one. One thing is for certain, Manfred is trying to meet with Nils sometime after Nils' birthday. How is he going to do that if he's trapped in the game? I don't know, that's why I'm not the expert. There is still so much I haven't covered. The sci-fi pyramids, the ocean level, the weird monsters, the fish. It's a lot. But like I said, it seems like it's still ongoing, so hopefully when more is figured out I can make a more comprehensive and concise video about it. But until then, I'll eagerly await my email reply. So that was Catastrophe Crow. I hope that I brought some new attention to people that might be able to, decode more of the story as it goes along. Like I said, it really is a masterclass in how to make one of these things, so I definitely suggest checking it out for yourself. Tell me what you thought of this video in the comments, and let me know what I should cover next on my Twitter. Also follow me on Twitch because I've got more stuff going over there soon. See you all next time.